Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Without me sounding boohoo, I wanted to talk about something that is completely life-changing, and this is such a small minor little thing, such a little iteration or nuance, if you will, so that it's mostly overlooked. And so yesterday I was reading a book and I just simply got to realize that, hey man, like many times pretty much how I'm phrasing things and pretty much how I'm thinking about things is completely deterministic of the outcome. Let me tell you an example. So for example, suppose that I'm starting a company, okay? And so my goal with that company is to build up the operations to be $100,000 a month profit, owner's profit, by the end of the, suppose like in a year, 12 months. And so there are two ways to think about this thing. The very first one is, hey, I will not be able to do that. This is belief number one and thought number one. Belief number two or thought number two is that, hey, I can freaking do that. And so just to represent you what will happen in case one and what will happen in case two. So basically in case one, you will be so much determined to find the actual means of how you can't do that thing or how you are not able to do that thing, that you will find every single excuse on earth in order for you to be able to justify to yourself that, hey man, this is not possible, okay? Whereas when we are getting into case two, when we are believing that, hey man, like this is something that I can do, then guess what? The exact opposite will happen, and you will just simply start thinking about, hey man, how this thing is possible, how this thing on earth is possible. And so now you will find yourself that, hey, yes, you know, I'm supposed to be starting this business model, maybe I'm supposed to be finding a mentor, maybe I'm supposed to be, you know, writing a plan, I'm supposed to be having, you know, timelines around this thing, and so on and so forth. And so it's like, man, so this is how I can do that. And the next day you're waking up and you're still believing in this thing. Maybe I'm really supposed to be starting that thing, so therefore I might be there in 12 months, and so on and so forth. And so, this is pretty much what is happening inside of ourselves. And the change is like so minor, or the mindset shift, that mostly it is going under our radar. And this is the most important thing that I've been blessed to realize, is that many times I'm just so much unaware of these things and these inner monologues that are going inside of my head, if you will, so inside of myself, that I'm just simply not realizing these things, and I'm just simply not giving it too much thought. But in reality, these are the actual deterministic things of how our life will eventually be determined in a certain way. So let me tell you an example from my life, okay? So I had a business which was dropshipping. I was doing it about like 2 years ago. I can tell examples about my current business too, but let's just stick with this one because that was bigger for me. And so I was like, man, there's this thing that's called dropshipping, and I was just so much deterministic, and I just believed so much that this could be done, that I was just doing it like so much that somehow I've been able to put together one store, and it made profit. Not too much, but it made profit, a few $1,000s. And at the end of the day, I was just like, man, this is how this works. The same thing with running, for example. I was like, man, in the beginning, initially, somehow I think and I rationally know that I can run that thing, but up to the point that I'm nothing. But it's at a certain point on the court, on the course, it just kicks in. You know, it's like, hey, I can actually do this thing, and I just simply start to believe in that thing, and I just simply start to come up with those ideas that, hey man, like this is how we can do that thing, and this is how we can do. Like these are the evidences over there, like how we can do those things. And so when we are coming from this mind frame, this mindset, then again, we'll be just framing the whole thing as how I can do that. Or the other one is like how I cannot do that. And so throughout the course of my last business, which was pretty much like a construction business, which I try to, you know, build a system around it and completely automatize this whole thing, you know, to run on autopilot without me, which I was very, very close to that. But I just simply had many days when I doesn't really know how to code, okay? And I was working with no-code tools and just, you know, with a simple Excel sheet and Zapier, if you are familiar with those tools. And the point over here is that I just simply have very, very, I would say, advanced technical issues in the business. And so, whether you believe it or not, I had many, many times when I just simply have been able to come up with solutions for those problems with just simple sheet and with Zapier. And this is like ridiculous. Like I've been able to solve, I've been basically able to, you know, build booking systems in, you know, like Excel sheet and all the good stuff. So what I wanted to come up with here is that if you believe that you can do that thing, that you can freaking do that. If you don't, then you don't. And whether you believe it, that this could be made or not, we are both right. And just wanted to come this thing up as a reminder, because we all know this, but we somehow just overlooked at this thing. And this is the most important thing again. Like, this is just such a minor thing again that we have the huge tendency to overlook this thing. So with that being said, I do believe that today I'll be killing it. So I have to go now. Love.